If I were to ask all of you, or a few of you, if you'd like to come up here and express your creativity, would you jump at the chance to pop up on stage next to me? I've got some pens in here. Take them out and start doodling. Would you? Maybe not. Maybe you'd be better off writing. Maybe you've got some poetry inside you that you'd like to bring up and put out there. Perhaps you'd like to use this stand as a prop for a dramatic response or creative dance, interpretive dance to Rick Astley or something like that. I don't know what you're into, but that's just a guess. Certainly coming up here would be very scary, and it would mean putting yourself in a position of vulnerability. It would mean showing that to the world. And that's certainly a scary thing. God knows I'm feeling it right now. As a child, I hid my vulnerability. If I was on a bike, enjoying my ride, and I'd fall, hurt my knee, I wouldn't cry. I'd keep it in. I was told, what a good girl for not shedding a tear. I was brave. I was good at holding it in. In school, during my academic studies, if I had good grades in science, in maths, in English, even though I couldn't stand them, I would do well and I was praised. But if I did well in art or drama, it was yeah, that's all right, but what are you going to do with it? This just spurred me on to want to show my true self and to want to express myself through my art. It made me want to prove that I could do something with this, that I could make something of myself, that I could embrace my vulnerability and express myself. I also hid myself from relationships. If I say it, fancied a boy, I wouldn't tell them. I'd keep it inside and I'd just pretend. I'd be like, yeah, right, mate? How's it going, bro? Yeah. When actually I was like, take me. Just ravage me. I was only about 13, but no, I wasn't. But, you just feel it inside, but you go from feeling up into your head, and you're just like, no, don't say that, it's all fine. So I wore a mask to hide my vulnerability. And that's what a lot of us do. We hide things away, and we build a brick wall around our hearts, and instead the light can't come in, and it also can't shine out into the world. Dr. Brené Brown spoke about vulnerability in her TED Talk, and that's had over 50 million views, I think, at the moment. So, what does that go to show us about people opening up? Certainly our societies these days are used to numbing our feelings. We're on social media constantly. We're eating a lot. We're, drinking alcohol excessively. We're just avoiding things. We're not connecting with each other. And it saddens me to think that we have these needs come up when we feel this need to look at our phone, when really we should be putting that down and going out and speaking to someone. I know that when I'm sat there on my own, especially during lockdown, I had all these strange needs, these feelings coming up, and I thought, social media will answer that. Instagram will give me the answer, but it didn't, and I felt awful. I wanted to express myself vulnerably, to just tell somebody how I felt, but I couldn't. I felt embarrassed, so I just hid it. And certainly today in societies, people are suffering with their own vulnerability. Just look at Afghanistan, look at what's going on with the wars, with poverty, with hunger, and God knows what's going on. Those people don't have the privilege of expressing themselves emotionally or creatively. Their worlds are darkened by horrible things, by dark bullets, by hands. It's awful. And they just don't have that possibility that we have in order to express ourselves. So by not expressing ourselves, we're doing an injustice to them. God, is it 5 minutes already? My God. Better get on with it. Right, so I am what's called a graphic recorder, and I use these tools. I like to call this the bum bag of brilliance, because it is purely brilliant. And does anybody used to wear one of these? It holds within it my tools. So as a graphic facilitator, graphic recorder we like to call it, I embrace my vulnerability now and I express myself creatively. And what I'd like to do is express this and embrace this large white space. It's pretty intimidating, but I want to share with you some tips on how you can actually embrace your own blank page, your own vulnerability. So I'm going to create a visual metaphor for you. So the first thing that you could embrace and that you could use is a foundation. Now, foundation is how you've been brought up, your life skills, your strengths, your weaknesses. It's what you've experienced to put things in place for you to stand strong. In terms of an artist's perspective, it's my board. This is nice and strong, and if it doesn't wobble too much, but if it were to fall, all of my work would fall down. I need it to be strong for me, so I'm going to embrace my foundation. On top of your foundation, you have your container. And within this container is the energy that we have. So our container is our focusing energy. It's the energy we use to go out, to go and get stuff done. And we need to contain that in order for the picture to work and for the energy to have a boundary. Because if the energy overflows, if the art goes mad, then who knows what happens? It would be chaotic. So you need that container. Just like this is a container and my page is a container. Without a container, there is no art. The third thing that you need in order to be more vulnerable and to help embrace your page is your tribe of people. And what I like to call my tribe are my pens. They're in all different colors. Just like people, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Some are bold, some are quiet, some are soft, some are brazen. Some of them go together, others clash. So with that, we have our tribe. And as I said, they're in all different colors. Just going to draw some things quickly. Bear with me a minute. So all different colors, all different personalities, but they're all working together to create this beautiful artwork. Now that we've got our foundation, our container, and our tribes of people that's going to help us be more vulnerable, we need another element, which is to listen. And to listen is like to have food. It's to be nourished. If you can say to somebody during a conversation, "I hear you," that will give them so much nourishment and joy. There are a few things just to be aware of if you're going to be more vulnerable. And that is one of these things, a little cocoon. I like to call it the cocoon of contentment. So you might not step out of your shell. You might want to stay in this. It's where your comfort zone is, unfortunately, that old comfort zone word, but it's where we don't step out of ourselves. And in order to be more vulnerable, we need to do that. On the other side, munching away at the leaves, are the angry, aggressive ants. And we all know those ants in the pants, right? They can get aggressive, and that's going to be nasty if it's in your pants. But we don't want them to ruin our picture. And aggression is not a good thing if you want to be vulnerable. So now that we've created our picture, I'm hoping that you can put some of these tips and express yourself a little bit more creatively in your life. Goodness knows the world at the moment really needs it. And you never know. If you can't do it, just give it a go. And if it goes wrong, it doesn't matter. You can always fill in another page tomorrow. Thank you.